Hello, everyone.
Hi,
I'm Ravae Sinclair,
I'm Denise Bowles.
and we're here to help you doula
Do
that.
all of that.
Okay. Ain't nobody laughing. We are not, we are not coming to you. This is a part two. We are not coming to you bubbly and happy today, although I'm not downtrodden, but this is kind of a sobering episode to follow up from a video episode that I did around being taken to the bank for $2,000 from a fellow birth worker.
Mhm.
And there's been a lot of feedback. We posted the video on our Doula That podcast Facebook page, and we are pleased that people are getting the message and hearing about my specific experience, which I told a little bit about Denise's experience, but we're doing a part two so Denise can share more of her experience, and we can actually talk about what we've learned since the post. Do you want to share? We want to start. You share your story.
Yeah, I'll make it brief to save time. Ravae is a good friend of mine, and we've been on the front lines here working. And Ravae called me and said, "Hey, there's a trip. Let's take a little vacation at the end of the year." So I'm like, "Bet, let's go." We both love sitting on the beach, eating good food, and doing nothing. So I'm like, "This is a perfect partner to do this with." So I said, "Yes, let's go." So we got into this midwifery program here for this Belize retreat that was slated for November 2024 with the payment plan. Starting January, we did the payment plan, gave her my credit card information with monthly installments understood. Well, all of a sudden on social media by September, we noticed, oh, these skills and drills that was supposed to be in Louisiana, New Orleans, has been now moved from in person to virtual. So in our conversation, it came up, well, I wonder, is this now going to impact the trip? Because the trip is supposed to happen immediately after the Skills and Drills conference. So sure enough, we go to the Belize conference, the retreat page, and the trip has been moved to February 2025 in September of 2024. That's a 5-month gap. And anybody knows in birth work, your schedule, your calendar is booked way out. So I'm saying, well, I'm available in November because I blocked off that time back in January when I agreed to go with Ravae to the trip. So I blocked off that time in January for November's trip. Now you're moving the trip in November to February. I didn't block off February. I can't go because I'm already booked. So I reached out to her by email and, she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Would you like your refund in either Venmo or Zelle?" So I said, "Sure, Zelle would be great. I'll just put it right back on my credit card and, easy peasy, nothing lost, no interest, everything is good."
Mhm.
Well, I'm sitting here and I'm waiting. I gave her 5 business days to do that as a courtesy. Nothing happened in 5 business days. I circle back. All of a sudden, she's like, "Well, I had to let go of staff. I'm trying to pay my staff and take care of them first. If you continue to pursue this, I'll just file bankruptcy and it'll take you years to get your refund." And that broadsided me because I'm like, bankruptcy, paying your staff. This money was set aside for a trip that still in September hasn't even taken place yet. So I'm thinking you have that money in an account in a reserve somewhere waiting to go ahead and use it for the November trip. You're telling me that that money has been exhausted in other places and other things. And if I want to get my money back, which I do, I have to fight you for it.
Mhm.
And that's where this all turned in. So I just want to be very clear here. This is big for us. I'm not that type of person. People say, "Oh yeah, Denise called people out." I call you out if you've done something. I
Exactly.
don't go and look for people to call out stuff. I don't do that. I call you out if I've experienced something and I have something to say on that experience. And when my friend called me and said, "Hey, let's do a little vacation together." Great. Let's go. And now this happens
Yeah,
and we're finding out stuff that we really didn't bargain for.
we are finding out a lot of stuff. So first of all, I don't feel guilty by
No,
pulling you into this because this was not, we just wanted a trip, y'all.
we just wanted a trip. We
We
wanted
really
to
just
hang
thought,
out.
let's grind. I mean, we were working our butts off this year,
Mhm.
knowing that like mid-November, we were going to get an amazing,
I was so looking forward to this.
you know how much I was looking forward to this.
I
So,
was so looking forward to this.
I think we're going to still get an amazing trip. This is not something that takes us down. We will not
No, no,
be
no.
thwarted in our mission to get to the beach. Okay, so that's still going to happen. We're going to figure it out. But I believe just like you and I have so many like parallel experiences, and we might
We're
be a little,
bonded for life, whether we
I
like it.
know, through them. I know and some people would say a trauma bond somewhat, but I think we've healed a lot together.
Oh
So I
yeah.
don't think that it's a toxic bond, but I think we're also kind of like an unlikely pair. But little do people know this is like perfect. Like this is perfect for us, right at the stage of life that we're in and the stage in our careers. And so I'm really grateful. I think God does everything for a reason. You
There are
know,
no accidents with my God. No
no
accidents. No.
accidents. And so Denise knows I love having a witness. The lawyer in me really appreciates always having a witness in different experiences because similar to me, we've grown up always often being misunderstood. Our
Mhm.
confidence, our propensity towards telling the truth, and when things are wrong, we expose. A lot of people don't like that and they misinterpret it. And so we have that also similar experiences. And so
Yeah, we
together
do.
we did decide, we had a conversation about whether we were going to do this episode on, or the episode that I recorded, if we're going to do it on our podcast. Like, is that the appropriate platform? And here's the thing: we had an inclination that the way that she was acting, that this was like no big deal, and that's what was egregious for me.
Oh,
And it felt predatory, and I definitely just felt like we must tell people, like birth workers should be warned, like this
yes.
could happen to you.
Hmm.
Well, it was that agreement and that motivation to make sure that you all have information and you all can be protected that got us here to where we are today. Little did we know that when I was posting solely for you all to be aware and for me to try to compel her to give me my money back.
Hmm.
Well, we opened up the gates, like in my messenger inbox, my text messages
Yes.
are
Same. Same.
flooded.
Yep.
People immediately had a response. Most did not want to do it in the Facebook thread or publicly, which is one thing I want to address: the energy. People are afraid to speak out about Augustine Colebrook. I'm going to keep saying her name and tagging her, not to harass, because that's not what it is, but I'm not going to allow anonymity in a situation that's very specific. Okay.
Hmm.
So they are messaging about their personal experiences, which is not slander. I'm a
It's not.
lawyer. I'm going to need y'all to look up the definition. Okay. This
And
is
you
not
use that
slander.
term too freely. It's not slander.
It's not slander. I get to tell my lived experience. You
Hmm.
don't have to believe it. If you don't believe it, just keep scrolling. You don't have to give feedback. Okay. Like have some self-awareness around this situation. People who are navigating really tough things don't need you saying, go to court, go to court. I know how to go to court. I was a litigator for 7 years, child. I can go to court in a heartbeat. Court is not where things get resolved. Court is where things get compromised. I am not interested in a compromise. I gave her money. She didn't give me a service. I want my money back. I deserve my money back. And I don't
Hmm.
have to prove that to anyone. By the way, somebody, called my credibility into question, and she acted like she didn't, but she did. And at this point, post election, I'm not hearing it from none of y'all. Okay. I am a Black woman resting. When I'm finished with this scenario, y'all probably ain't really going to hear from me except on the podcast in general, for general purposes. But it's okay to tell what has happened to you. That is not slander. If somebody's trying to manipulate you into silence, don't fall for it. If you're not sure, call a lawyer and get some advice and then speak up. So I'm speaking up, and I'm really hope that I'm helping others unlock their voice. I saw in the thread that one person said this happened to me, and I didn't say anything, and I'm glad you're saying something for the sake of other birth workers. So these kind of comments are really, really helpful. When y'all share what y'all have experienced at the hands of Augustine Colebrook, it actually frees up other people. frees people up from their shame, their guilt, their just
Their trauma, they're
anger,
traumatized,
the
they've been
trauma.
betrayed, they trusted this person. Just for the record, I had to get charged back $1,581 from my credit card with this trip. That's what I'm fighting, and showing documentation to the credit card company about this situation.
Yeah, I think it's important. So I think we've done good. We made a good decision to share this publicly. And I really hope that more of you share what you're going through, what you have experienced. We have had this experience in the realm of her selling retreats. However, and we know that there are other people who signed up for this retreat and also didn't get services. And so if you all are out there, we would love to hear from you, because we are right in it, right with you if you're fighting to get your refund. So please reach out to us. But there are others that are saying, with the product that she sells, Skills and Drills, they are saying that they are out of $2,000. Someone said that through the Skills and Drills, she had money expenses once it was canceled, that she wanted to recoup from, like airfare, hotel travel, because it was canceled last minute. Just like our retreat, she had to find out that it was canceled. Well, that was very helpful to know. Someone else had a Skills and Drills cancellation to the tune of $2,000. One person didn't indicate if she got her money back. The other one said she had to fight. She got her money back, but it was a lot of work behind the scenes. So so it's not just the retreats, the Skills and Drills. There's been some financial mishandling, and then there's a few reports about the suspension of her midwifery license, harm done to families in Oregon. We've heard, I've gotten private messages about her harming families and babies in Hawaii. Sounds like she goes international because she can't actually practice here. I don't know. I don't know if she can practice. Let me just preface that, allegedly. But I feel like from what everybody's saying, she's not able to. And so she's going into teaching instead. And so because she's going to be in this teaching space where she can influence people, I want consumers should know she cancels classes last minute. She cancels retreats last minute. Those are very clear from the thread, and that's the feedback that we've gotten. The harming of babies and families, I'm not in the midwifery space. I don't know that, but I've had midwives tell me that. And apparently, they're in the know. All of that to say, I don't mind somebody making a living, and if one way didn't work for them, they find another way. So I'm okay with that. I believe that if somebody's not practicing, they may be able to teach. I don't know how well, if your skills were called into question, but I do believe in consumers being aware. It's important for you to be aware of who you're buying from. And in the way our birth worker world is set up, it's really hard to know who is solid and who isn't. All I'm doing is sounding the alarm on somebody who is acutely dangerous. One of the motivations for doing this post at the time that we did it was she was still asking for money for registering people for a conference, right? For this conference that went from in person to virtual. And I said to Denise, well, she's taking in people's money. Is this conference even going to happen? Not even that. I want my money back. She's taking in money while she's owing money. Like, this is kind of crazy. And I wanted people to know about the lack of integrity around this. Well, I was going to say mission accomplished, because as of like an hour ago, there were over 2,400 views of the snippet, the video, the snippet. And there's a whole longer video out there. So we encourage you to actually listen to the podcast or check us out on YouTube under the Doula That podcast to get the fuller story. But a hit dog hollers. Something is going on with this person. And the bottom line is we wanted people to be aware.
Yeah. And, when she made this transition from being in person to a virtual conference, she offered some pretty low bar consolations to people who've already paid for the in-person. Oh, I'll get you CEUs. Oh, you'll get another free training off of my website. Oh, you'll get another handout. It's like, well, this all should have been included already.
Oh, yes, that's what she offered, a speaker. So the in-person started last week, Friday.
It sure did.
And so I reached out to one of those speakers to try to see, was this conference legitimate? Because I wanted to see if when did she go to being a virtual presenter? And she said it was about the time that we found out in September that the conference was not going to be in person. So she found out last minute as well. But yeah, there was no compensation for speakers. Now, the two speakers on Friday that I saw, they were two Black women, which I thought it was interesting. And the compensation was not monetary. It was like, yeah, we'll get you I'm gonna apply for CEUs. Wait, you haven't done that yet? That may never come to fruition. So you're offering something that may never actually even happen.
And applying for CEUs takes money. You have to pay for that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So what part of the reason why we were going to do part 2 was there were a lot of things. I had a lot of thoughts and feelings, and now that we're on camera, which often happens, I be on a roll when we're private, and then when I get in camera, I have to try to be organized. But I'm going to let you share a little bit more of your reaction or your motivation for being a part of this.
Well, a year, 2 years ago, I came on and did a live and called out spinning babies with a Black trainer, Rhea, and she had done the spinning babies training, and she did not give out certificates of completion with contact hour verification to predominantly people of color. And I called them out, and I basically stood up here by myself because no one wanted to come forward with me. And that kind of learned behavior does more harm than good. Rhea tried to make some backroom calls about me and try to disparage my personality and my credibility. And like you said, a hit dog hollers. So it's so
in fact, she reached out to me. I don't think she knew that you and I were friends. And I tried to redirect her. She reached out to another person who was also your good friend. That's kind of interesting how that ended up happening. Yeah.
But to this day, August 2 years ago, there still has not been an issue of those certificates of attendance. And I don't know how Gail really allows that to happen. I really don't, because these were a mixture of professionals taking this course to get the contact hours, to get the certification, and they never received it. I received it because I yelled out. I yelled out, squeaky wheel gets the attention. I yelled out. But there's a group of community doulas who took the same training up at North Central Bronx, and they never got their certificates. And that is a predominantly community of color trying to advance themselves on their doula and birthing skills, trained by a Black person. That trust is so breached on something like that. And I'm so passionate about it because I am a trainer. I make sure my CEUs are in place before I advertise. I make sure that everything is integritous on what I'm doing. I'm making sure that everything is communicated properly. If someone can't make it, I bend over backwards to make sure that they can get into the next cohort. If something happens, I'm very, very transparent. But with this situation here, you and we paid for a service that was terminated before we could even get the service. We never got anything.
We didn't even get an email saying, let's get ready. We're excited. We can't wait to see you. There was nothing. So I got nothing for my money, literally nothing. And we're not, this is not a scenario where you just run and sue someone and use the court system.
No, she doesn't have an address here. We don't even know where she
doesn't even live in the United States.
She doesn't live here, y'all.
How can she be served court papers?
That's methodical. That's intentional.
How can she be subpoenaed to come to court when she lives in India? Process serving is expensive internationally. So that's not one of the routes that we are jumping to. No. Number one, we are looking out for birth workers by sounding the alarm.
Absolutely.
Perhaps the impact of that could be that someone is compelled to make good on the payments because of the public outing. Some people have challenged the venue. One person challenged us using this platform, but that's what platforms are for. People get on social media and talk about opening ice cream, or like they're watching their baby crawl. I mean, people use social media for anything and everything. So what I do want to address that attempt at tone policing and trying to control how I speak out. And I just want to be clear, as a Black woman post-election, I'm not having it. Don't tell me how to do it.
Very white of you, and it's not working.
Don't tell me how to do anything that I'm doing.
No,
I am open to feedback, and I will definitely take advice from wise counsel. but sweetheart, this ain't it. Okay. I
No.
have a platform. This is literally what it's for. And I'm literally sharing it because I've already been harmed. This ain't helping me necessarily. This is for prevention of further harm. This is relieving other people of the guilt and shame that they were carrying from having been one of her financial victims. So again, this is a total victory. Over 2,400 people hearing it, seeing it, knowing it. Now they can question it. Now, going here forward, you buy from her, you buy a ticket, you sign up for skills and drills, you understand you're taking a risk. You're on your own. You can't say nobody sounded the alarm. I got to be honest. All those messages that were coming through, I was like, why didn't nobody say nothing?
Why didn't somebody say
If
something?
y'all had said something, I would have never bought from
This could
her.
have been so avoided
And
if
this,
somebody would have
and
spoke
this is
up.
how I know social media is powerful. I had a fellow doula who I really respect go to the conference in Colorado. Oh my God, it was amazing. It was fantastic. I'm like, really? Dang, I missed it. Okay. Ooh, next time I'm gonna be in the room. So then she opened up another kind of gathering space and it sold out like immediately. And I was like, dang, I missed it again. So I'm following this person because I only know them through social media. I only know them from people saying, oh, it was a great experience. Now, if the people who are having a great experience can shout out, I'm saying today, I'm telling you how important it is when you have a bad experience to shout out. Not
Exactly.
every single time, okay? But there is a time and a place. For us, this was a right time and place to shout out. I have never done this. I have never called out someone. I would be horrified if somebody called me out. I haven't been a perfect birth worker. I've had to give back money where people weren't happy with services. Here's the difference. This is not like somebody, I gave a service and somebody didn't pay me. I didn't have a service to give her. That's not that. She had a service to provide to me and she got the money. She got everything I said I would give her and she didn't give me anything. And I'm over here fighting for my money. Okay. I have never done this, but I realize the way all people are responding that this was the right thing to do. People are getting freed up. But it is important to speak up because social media made me believe in this brand, made me believe in this woman. In fact, I found out that the person who did the marketing, her logo and her websites and stuff, that person had to sue her to get paid.
There you go.
The
There it
very
is.
marketing that's drawing a lot of us in,
There it is.
it didn't even get paid for. She had to fight. She's making payments to that midwifery student. That was one of the messages I got after somebody saw the video. I mean, y'all, it's all let me just stick to my experience because I don't want to step into the slander, but I'm telling you what I learned. And I know we are on the right track by having spoken out. I would not just do this for anyone, and I wouldn't want anybody to just do this to me. But egregious is clearly where we are. We are in the land of egregious.
We would not look into to do anything and say all these things against
I just
this
want my
person.
money.
We weren't looking for this. We went in to buy a vacation and hang out as friends. That's what this was.
And that's what she offered. That's what she
offered. And we did it on her terms. She says, hey, you can do a payment plan. Here's your credit card. We did the payment plan. We filed the chargeback. She's still charging my card. I had to get a new credit card to stop her from this point, to stop her from continuing to charge on my card.
Yeah, so let's talk on that. Let's speak on that. So the charge, I made an agreement with Midwifery Wisdom Collective. Okay, right. That was the business on the original transaction. That's what showed up on our bank statements from June to July. We made had the conversation that we needed our refund because she breached the contract. When she changed the date of the conference or of the retreat, that was a material change in the contract. So what was initially a non-refundable scenario now has become refundable. She acknowledged that. She acknowledged that in writing to both of us that a refund was in order by asking us, how do you want your refund? She's not disputing that we deserve a refund. She's never said we don't deserve it. What she hasn't done is given it. And she claims it'll happen in November. Well, guess what? We're in November. She said to me in writing, I aim to give you your money in November, at the end of November. What does that mean? That's not an exact date. At the time that she said this, it was 60 days out. I'm like, that is not an instant refund. That is crazy. And what does AIM mean? AIM? Like I may or may not get it. And that's why the timeliness of us talking out is important, because I'm not sure that she is going to give it. And it was just so uncertain. But what happened is July was the last payment. We asked for the refund. No payment was taken in June. No payment was taken in August. No payment was taken in September. I'm thinking, okay, fine. Okay, so I'm just trying to be patient. I'm watching Denise do the chargeback process, and that wasn't initially available to me because of the way I paid it on a business debit card. So you all have to know how surprised and shocked I was to get $600 taken out of my bank account in October.
And I got 400 taken out in October on my credit card again.
And it was not lost on me that it wasn't. I had a flag on my account for transactions for Midwifery Wisdom Co. Well, want to know why that transaction October went through? Because the business name had been changed to 2024 Belize Retreat. My bank couldn't capture it because the name had changed. She still had the authorization because it was the same business card. So I was advised by the bank, hey, it wouldn't have happened if you had actually canceled the card. You should have canceled the card. So of course, now the card is canceled. I'm not worried about her taking more money. At this point, I'm worried about her challenging the chargebacks that now I'm eligible to file for, but I'm only eligible to do a request to chargeback for $1,000. Everything else from January to May
June,
is too late. The timing. So you all understand, I'm like, am I going to get the chargeback money? Am I going to get the other money that's not even available for me to charge back? I might have to sue. But here's the other thing, just to wrap it up and kind of be clear about time. We are absolutely going to be encouraging those to come forward. Part of what I want to do is her business is registered in the United States. We do want to identify that and consider filing all of our complaints to the Attorney General. The Attorney General of that state is the people who regulate businesses and make sure that businesses are safe. And so we're going to follow the process to make sure that on a business level, we are taking care of business and making sure consumers are protected from folks like her. And so if you need to come forward, you can inbox us, DM. I've been responding to messages. If you happen to have my number, you can text. Same thing with Denise. We're going to probably be reaching out to people to actually file a more formal complaint with the Attorney General. If I need to sue, I will. We're not at that point yet, but we'll see. I hope she just gives me my money. That's all I want. I'll go away. I mean, I'll probably still pursue the Attorney General, to be really honest, but because it's the right thing to do. But I think suing someone when we're still in the acute phase is not necessarily the right thing to do. I also want to know, are there any midwifery organizations that are responsible for her? They should know how she's treating folks in the industry. This is just wrong. And
it's predatory. It's totally predatory.
Yeah. And she says, I'm going through a hard time. I can't tell. You're swinging on swings in Bali, jumping off, docks in Bali.
Eating buttered steak.
Posting
That's got to be real
reels.
hard. That's got to be real hard.
Posting reels. And I'm going to take my vacation. I'm going to find a way. But the point is, you don't do that a week after you took $600 out of my account, $400 out of Denise, and who else? She started collecting money from folks who are registering for her conference. Shame. For shame.
I'm so glad we didn't buy the plane tickets. I'm so glad we didn't buy the plane tickets. I'm so glad we didn't. Oh my God.
And here's what I suspect. I suspect that she's on a visa. She's got to leave the country after being there for so many months straight. Her plan was to come to the United States for this conference for 30 days and then go to Belize for that week. And that didn't happen. So she just went to Bali for the month. She's admitted that on her own. I have that on the in the thread. Her reels of her diving in the ocean in Bali.
So swim with turtles.
Yeah, swimming with turtles and all of that. And again, go have your fun, but take care of business, take care of your responsibilities. And clearly this is not what she does. There is a pattern of behavior here that is predatory, that is harming birth workers. And there's also a culture of quiet and shame around it. And I don't think we should be in that space. So I want to encourage you all to live in your truth, live in the light, keep going. I really want, my heart goes out to those who are in, we're walking in your shoes. You've been where we are. Obviously, life goes on and we'll move on, but people should know. People should know that there's a wolf in sheep's clothing amongst us. And, if you buy from her, that's on you. You can't claim you didn't know, that nobody sounded the alarm, because
I just wish somebody
we
sounded
did.
the alarm sooner. I would not have, if in my circle, if I came across, I would say, oh, Ravae, that's a great idea, but I think we need to be wary of this before we make an agreement to do this. We had no idea all of this was going to be uncovered when we did this. No
Yeah.
idea.
And, I think back to what I was saying, I think this happened for a reason. This is not karma, child. I plant really great seeds. Okay. But I think it happened to us so that, because we do have a platform, we do have a heart for birth workers. We do want you all to learn lessons and grow in your practice. And we don't want you to become victims. We want you to be effective. And this is just a lesson. I guess we're just going to move it forward. We're going to just move it forward so that you all get a chance to be mindful, look for the red flags, the yellow flags. So
Mhm.
in this, I would say one of my yellow flags was when I did the transaction, I didn't get a copy of a contract. I didn't. And so that made me screenshot the website. But by February and March, when we didn't get communication, I should have
Right. But
questioned
we
her,
were so
right?
busy working, and that's part of
Yeah.
the plan, that I'm going to work with this population because we are so busy. We are doing so many things. Yeah, of
Yeah. And it
course.
was so far off. It's like, okay, it's February. We're not going until
And it's
November.
we're traveling in November. We got time. We got time. We're
No,
saying,
but you should
oh my.
absolutely be getting correspondence. If you're not getting correspondence, if you're not being put in a group with other participants,
Mhm.
if you're not seeing continuous promotions around it, that's a yellow flag. I think the other yellow flag was a red flag, that when I reached out to her, because we had to reach out to her when we found out the date had gotten changed, that she immediately was like, yeah, okay, no apology. There was no acknowledgement. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I did all that I could.
Thank you for your patience and understanding,
That's what
quote
she
unquote.
kept saying. Thank you for your patience, understanding, which is one of the posts y'all see. I finally snap, and I'm like, I'm not patient and understanding anymore. I'm out of patience with you. I've been between the two of us, the most patient, right? And now it's over. It's a lot of gaslighting, manipulating. Like in one of the threads, she says, oh no, we realized those $600 payments. As soon as we realized them, we refunded them. Well, to who? Because I don't have it. You didn't get yours back. You're lying. But then in another phrase, in another post, you say, oh, all the refunds are coming in November. Which is it? The refunds came right away, at least for those transactions, or the refunds are coming in November. It can't be both. Pick one, pick a lie, because that's what you're doing. You don't even remember what you're saying. Now, I suspect that there is something, besides health wise, there's some stuff going on with her. And we're getting kind of a flat affect. And even though I'm tagging her, she is not responding. And that tells me that there's something else going on. I think this person is not well. So I would question doing uh, anything, a retreat, a class, learning under her. I don't think that there's stability, and there's clearly not financial stability, and it's sad. And so, for honestly, I want to recognize that there might be other birth workers in this space who are on the edge financially as well. Like they're struggling to figure out they're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. And if that's the case, then feel free to reach out. I help people do business building, and perhaps would do that, extend myself in order to support you in getting stronger and better. Birth workers, we need to do better. We can have strong, vibrant businesses. I don't care what the economy is. People are having babies every day, but
Yeah.
we gotta do it with integrity.
And that integrity is whoever is our office staff person. I do believe, if they see that all of this is happening, they could be held liable as well. They could be held liable when stuff is coming down with the paperwork and everything. They could be accomplices to this whole situation. So
Well,
I would be very
here,
careful on
other
something.
than accomplice, I would say for sure be subpoenaed, because if their name is on documents, they can be subpoenaed and questioned about their involvement. They can definitely be inconvenienced and be deposed. They can absolutely be dragged in, and they're probably some of our chief witnesses, right? But I don't even want to go to court. It's not that. Just give me my money. Just give everybody back their money.
Yeah, but it's just,
Um,
it's really sad how this is just one lie begets another, and like an avalanche of
it's like a
just
cascade, yeah,
stuff.
like a domino effect. So everyone protect yourselves. And I hope this provides a little bit more clarity. I definitely wanted to give a chance to bring Denise into the space, but like, y'all, don't, don't come this way. Don't come this way. Protect yourselves, get your receipt, uh,
Don't,
pay
don't.
for it on a credit card, buy traveling insurance. Um, I don't know. Ask people, get people's reputation. Call
Mhm.
the person and ask them questions. You should have an FAQ. You should have a sign. There's all kinds of things. But take care of yourselves. Protect yourselves. Don't do it. All right, everybody. This is
All right.
us. We hope you will better doula
All
that
of that.
because we will too. Okay.
Yes.
Have a good
Take
time,
care.
everybody. Take care. See you next time.